the biggest, largest supermarket chain here in Manhattan in New York City. It's nice to see you, John. Thank you so much for being with us. I know you're taking time to take care of your employees and your customers. What's the current environment like?
Well, we're continuing. Our stores, Gristedes and D'Agostino, are fully stocked. And we have some shortages, but the trucks are coming in every day. And there's no interruption in the chain supply line. So I don't think there's no reason for any panics right now. Will there be some shortages? Yes, there will be here and there, but nothing serious.
So that brings some optimism. I mean, that shows because some people were hoarding. They were so scared of staying in place, trying to fill their freezers. It probably caught many retailers off guard. But after a week or 2 weeks, you're probably back in with toilet paper and paper towels and the food that people need, the generalities.
Yes, we're I would say 90% of our needs are in our stores right now, and we're getting caught up. The panic has subsided, so we're doing more business than usual, but there's no panic around.
John, tell me about the bigger picture of what you know that maybe we don't. I mean, we see the obvious. We see the fiscal stimulus, the monetary stimulus. We know our administration's working hard. What is it that you know as a billionaire businessman in not only Gristedes and D'Agostino and the supermarkets, but you're also in oil, you're in real estate. What is it that you tell people now based on what you're seeing?
Well, what I've said to my friend Larry Kudlow and what I've said to the president through another friend of mine is that people need hope. It's not about how much money the Fed is going to pour in, how much money the Treasury is going to put in. That people need a blue sky. They have to be able to look down the road and say, well, 30 days from now it may be over. Not guaranteed over, but maybe over at least. And I think the president has been saying that the last few days, and I think that's encouraged the market that somewhere down the road it is going to end.
Yeah, I think that there are some people who would agree with you that just even the president insinuating that people will get back to business, whether it's with social distancing or certain people back to business, that does bring some hope. And that may have, in fact, contributed to the markets moving higher, in addition to what we saw from the aid bill, in the works, and also the monetary stimulus that we saw from the Fed, which really provided so much liquidity. At one point, you were recommending that we close the markets and, to sort of stop the bleeding. But at the same time, there were others who were saying just shorten the hours. People want access to their funds, and the markets abroad were open. So do you still think that's a good idea, or do you think that the worst has passed?
I think the worst has passed. Last Sunday night, I was recommending to the president, and I was recommending to other people that there's going to be a roller coaster ride because of the politicians. I mean, what Pelosi did last Sunday night, walked in with a brand new 1,400 pages of nonsense. I mean, that was horrible. The markets had to open down. If we're going to play with nonsense with politicians, yes, the market should have been closed. But it looks like I think the worst is over. I think there is hope out there. Look, it's already in South Korea. It's already decreased in new virus, in new happenings, and also in Wuhan. New York is not having the big increases other politicians have promised. I mean, there was a politician on the other day says there's going to be 80% of the people in New York, 40 to 80% are going to get the virus. I mean, that is pure nonsense.
Well, let's keep on the business part of it, because I know that you're focused on bringing hope. And tell me about what you think that the businesses have been doing. I mean, we know that some of the companies have been hiring. We've seen Walmart and Target saying that they're opening up their parking lots. I think America has really come together in a beautiful way to make it through this time. Tell me about also at Gristedes. Are you going to be looking to be hiring this year?
We are hiring right now because our people are dedicated people, but they can work 70 hours a week the first week and second week, but sometime down the road they don't want to work 70 hours every week. Our people are there for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and they're dedicated, and they've made it through snowstorms, hurricanes. I've had store managers sleep in the stores to be able to be open the next morning.
It's amazing. Yeah, I get it. Tell me more about, let me interrupt you, John, because obviously, as we said, you have a hand in so many businesses and you speak to so many influential people. You also have your own radio network station, 970 AM here in New York, where you get to talk to a lot of people as well about making money on these dips. I mean, we just had a guest on who's hoping for more of a pullback, maybe even below 2,000 on the S&P 500, so he can pick up even more stocks, whether it's in materials and consumer discretionary. How do you make money in this kind of volatile environment, or how do you position your portfolio, or do you just stand pat?
Well, what we have done is mostly we stand pat. A couple of opportunities, like an Icon, that went and bought stock in companies that he doesn't mind owning. If you don't mind owning the company, you buy stock in it. So I think that is the question that investors ask. Do I buy the company because at that price I don't mind owning the whole company? And that's what Icon is doing with Occidental. That's what we're doing with a couple of other opportunities. But you don't just go out there and speculate based on. I think it's a good situation for the future. It's a different kind of market than usual.
Right, and fundamentally, we came into this health crisis very strong. We were doing very well. It's not like what we saw in the financial crisis. It's not like the tech bubble. It's a different environment. So do you feel in the back half of the year that things will be looking good? I know you've been through bull markets and bear markets.
I believe that I've said this publicly, that the worst is going to be over the next 30, 45 days, maybe not on Easter, maybe a couple weeks more than that. But I think the worst will be over. And if the worst is over the next 30, 45 days, then you'll have the bull market will be back by September.
Yeah. And, you always talk about being a great patriot. You've run for mayor here, a great mayoral candidacy here in New York. Can you leave us with a thought of hope as we wrap this up, John Catsimatidis?
Well, we had a lot of deaths in New York City and New York State, but the increases have not been increasing as badly as they once predicted. So I think there's blue sky ahead. Like I said, blue sky, if you see blue sky in the next 30 to 45 days, then it's time to buy America.